You know, Apple, I'll admit it, I didn't think you had it in you. For years, and even recently, I said that Apple would never make a true budget MacBook, that the $999 MacBook Air was the floor. Well, Apple just proved me wrong. This is the brand new MacBook Neo. It starts at $599 or $499 if you're a student. Confirming the rumors, it runs on a repurposed iPhone chip, comes in some funky colors, and makes some interesting compromises to reach its bargain price. After putting it through the gauntlet here in PC Labs, one thing is clear. Apple just upended the entire budget laptop market. I'm Joe Osborne, and this is the PCMag Lab Report. It all starts with the laptop's brains, the ARM-based A18 Pro processor. If that sounds familiar, this is the same silicon found in the iPhone 16 Pro of 2024. Now, these A18 Pros are likely binned chips. In processor manufacturing, things don't always come out perfect. If a chip comes off the line and one or more of its cores doesn't meet the listed spec, it's not thrown away. The manufacturer bins the chip, repurposing it for a device that needs slightly less power. In this case, the Neo's A18 Pro has a 5-core GPU instead of the standard 6. It's possible that using A18 Pro chips that were already mass-produced means Apple didn't have to spend nearly as much to develop the Neo as, say, a new MacBook Pro and a whole new generation of CPU. This, plus a lot of other tweaks, helped Apple to keep the Neo's price low. All MacBook Neo models have 8 GB of unified memory, and the $599 version has a 256 GB SSD. Since the A18 Pro is a system on a chip, or SoC, that memory is baked in. You cannot upgrade it later. The only real choice at checkout is whether to spend an extra $100 to jump to 512 GB of storage and add a Touch ID sensor to the power button. Our review unit is the base $599 model. No Touch ID, just pure budget. Design-wise, the Neo looks like a MacBook Air that went through a reality distortion field. It's half an inch thick and weighs 2.7 pounds. It is just as light, but a little thicker than the MacBook Air. Now, look at the finish. The aluminum brushing appears a bit more pronounced or fuzzy. That's likely due to the increased recycled material, 60% in total, versus other Apple gadgets. The Neo has the most recycled material of any Apple product yet. The color matching is where the Neo wins on personality. Apple offers the Neo in a choice of 4 colors: indigo, blush, and citrus, otherwise known as dark blue, pink, and lime green, as well as the usual silver. The colors carry over to the keyboard, the rubber feet on the bottom, and even certain elements of macOS like the buttons and wheels. It feels fun, which is something that budget laptops usually aren't. Now, how does the Neo compare with the budget PC competition? The Neo wins on build quality hands down. While most $600 PCs are all plastic or mixed with some metal, the Neo's chassis is fully aluminum, and it's surprisingly resistant to bending and flexing. Usually, a $600 laptop screen is where dreams go to die. Not here. We clocked this 13-inch liquid retina panel at 516 nits of brightness. That's rare at this price. The panel has a 10-bit color depth, meaning it can show more than 1 billion colors. To maintain that bargain price, Apple stripped away HDR and True Tone automatic color temperature adjustment. But honestly, I don't think the average person buying this laptop will miss them. This screen is sharper than 1440p and trounces the 1080p displays found on similarly priced Windows laptops. It's a really high quality screen for the money. Also, it's only slightly smaller than the screen on the more expensive MacBook Air. The FaceTime HD camera here is a 1080p webcam, and it's fine. There's no notch. Unlike the webcam cutout you find on other modern MacBooks, which butts into the top of the screen, the Neo's screen bezels are just thicker to hide the camera. The streamed image is a bit fuzzy in low light, but Apple's software tricks like background blur help keep you looking professional on zoom. The Magic Keyboard is back, but with some changes. 1, the keys have new symbols for a lot of the functional keys, like tab and return, which are helpful for international users. 2, the keys have no backlighting, which is another cost saver. If you're a night owl, you'll have to type by the glow of the screen. Regardless, the keys feel just like they do on the MacBook Air Pro, which I appreciate, but it's a personal preference. Yes, the trackpad is smaller, and it's a simpler mechanical pad than you'll find on the MacBook Air or Pro laptops. Those models have rigid touchpads with haptic motors underneath and don't actually click down. But the Neo's touchpad is still a high quality part. Now, we must discuss the ports. This is the Neo's biggest miss. The laptop has 2 USB-C ports and a headphone jack. Sounds normal for Apple so far, but here's the kicker. Only one of the 2 supports display output up to a 4K display. It's a USB 3.2 Gen 2 port, and it's also the only port with modern speeds. The other one, it's limited to USB 2.0 speeds, tech from more than 20 years ago. Apple updated macOS to provide on-screen warnings if you plug a monitor into this connection, and suggests using the faster of the two ports whenever a storage device is attached, which is helpful. This slower port is best for charging the laptop and connecting a mouse or keyboard, not for storage drives. But no matter what, the rest of the laptops we compare with the Neo have so many more ports. They're not as thin and light, of course, but if you truly hate the dreaded dongle, the Neo might not be the laptop for you. Time for the super fun stuff, getting into the numbers. How does an iPhone chip handle macOS? In our single-core processing tests, the A18 Pro dominated the other budget PC chips I compared it with. The MacBook Neo particularly trounced its budget PC rivals in the single-core Geekbench test, and it was the only one in its class able to run our Adobe Photoshop benchmark. However, when it came to multi-core work like video transcoding and handbrake and multitasking, the Snapdragon-based Lenovo IdeaPad Slim 3X pulled ahead significantly. The Neo is a productive sprint runner, not a marathon multitasker. In use, the A18 Pro and its 8GB of memory didn't hold the Neo back from basic use in any way, moving swiftly between apps and opening new ones quickly. This is the advantage of Apple owning the entire product stack from hardware to software. As for graphics and gaming, that was a genuine surprise. The A18 Pro's graphics chip didn't seem any less potent for losing a core, dominating its direct competitors in each of our 3D Mark tests. We ran Cyberpunk 2077, yes really, and with the 4 this Max settings, which adjust details and resolution, and frame generation, the Neo reached 52 frames per second. The game's image showed heavy artifacts and motion scenes, but it was playable. I also anecdotally tested out the latest version of World of Warcraft, which ran at a smooth 60 frames per second at the screen's native resolution and decent detail settings. So if these games weren't even optimized for an iPhone chip and run this well, imagine what the Apple Arcade library looks like on the MacBook Neo. Amazing, that's what. Games like Gear Club and Oceanhorn 3 look slick and run like butter on the Neo, all without breaking a sweat. For a fanless, silent budget laptop, that's impressive. In our battery rundown test, playing a local 720p video file on a loop, the Neo lasted 15 hours and 35 minutes, nearly meeting Apple's claim of 16 hours. This MacBook should see a student through a full day of classes, but it's not the battery king. Remember that Lenovo Snapdragon laptop I mentioned earlier? That thing went for nearly 30 hours. So if you're a long-haul traveler, PC laptops with ARM chips might actually have the edge here. As for the screen, it's the best you'll find on a laptop at this price, period. While the display only officially supports the sRGB color gamut, in our testing, it covered more of the advanced P3 and Adobe RGB gamuts than the other budget laptops could manage on the basic RGB gamut. And I already mentioned how bright the screen is, which is also helped by an anti-reflective coating for fighting harsh outdoor light. So, who is the MacBook Neo for? If you're a power user of any kind, you already know the answer. Move along to bigger and beefier MacBooks. The Neo's port limitations and overall configuration are just too restrictive for anyone deeply clued in on speeds and feeds. But for everyone else, students, casual users, or Apple fans on a budget, the Neo is a revelation. It's a potent budget laptop with MacBook Air level build quality and a world-class display for the price of a mid-range Chromebook. With the Neo, Apple just took the budget laptop category and flipped it upside down. The Neo is not perfect, but for $599, it's the best built, most vibrant notebook in its class. That's why the MacBook Neo earns our Editor's Choice Award among budget laptops. For the full benchmark breakdown and a deeper dive on everything covered here, head over to PCMag.com for my full written review. I'm Joe Osborne. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.